Hey guys, you know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent Big Ugly himself, Omari Ellis Feo Grande on YouTube, back with a new series. Yes, that's right, a new series called Mocked Draft. That is correct. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that is 3. Like he is saying, and the man pointing out that this is indeed the 3rd series on this channel. My co-host and running one of my best friends in the world, El Director himself, Bill Smith.
Hey, Omari, thanks for having me back as always. Boom. I can't stay away. We got this thing going on, and I just want to get out every creative outlet that I have
Same
on your YouTube network here.
Hey, I'm fine with it. The more the better, as far as I'm saying.
Yeah, so mocked draft. Initially, my thought was, you have a sister channel called Whatever We Want, where I will occasionally pop in and have some fun stuff, do some fun stuff with you guys over there on Whatever We Want. And a while back, we did this gigantic, massive, epic draft of all-time wrestlers, and it was really cool. Go check it out if you haven't. I don't know if we get links down below or anything, but really cool episode that kind of inspired this whole thing. I had so much fun doing that I kind of needed to do it more. And so I thought, we're already hanging out, we're already meeting up. Let's just turn that individual concept of an episode into a full series. So here on Mock Draft, we're going to be taking care of a bunch of different little drafts. We're gonna have a bunch of fun on all kinds of topics, from everything from what kitchen utensil will be the best football position. Stay tuned for Slotted Spoon as wide receiver. I don't know. That's just a random thought that came in my mind, but we're going to do some fun stuff like that. But also, we're going to have an overarching, evolving series here on Mocked Draft, where we're going to do a legitimate fantasy wrestling draft for active WWE participants. Yes. We have a point system. We are going to track, and we are going to meet up about every 2 months.
Yeah.
And find out where we stand on our fantasy league of professional wrestling.
I like that idea. That was a good idea. The second you mentioned it, I was like, all right, yeah, I like the fantasy wrestling thing. Because like you said, we had the mock draft thing with the show, with the sister channel, the Whatever We Want with Super Jazz and all that. But reasons and stuff, that's its own thing, and I like what we had planned for that, and whenever that continues. But I like this as another little side thing. It's a nice little spin on it, because we're still drafting, but it's like literally like fantasy. I play a good amount of fantasy football. If you see some of my other videos on the channel, you'll see, like, instead of a fake championship win like this promotional art here, you'll see an actual banner from me winning a fantasy football season. So I do like the idea of this fantasy wrestling.
Awesome. Yeah. And as the season evolves, which I would imagine we will end at maybe post WrestleMania, we can decide on a victory and potential punishment scenario as these episodes go on. Because we are dealing with points here, folks. What we're going to do is we're going to put all the points in the matches. There's a lot of great wrestling that is just involved in promo work and backstage brawls and situations, but we are going to focus our points directly into the matches. And how those will break down are as follows. For singles competition on TV, so that would include Raw and SmackDown, you can get 1 point for a victory and 0 points for a loss. For tag on a TV channels, Raw or SmackDown, you can get 1 point for a victory, no points for a loss. Now, however, on pay-per-view, that is going to be 2 points each. 2 points for a win, 2 points for a win in tag. Still no points for participation in those matches. Moving on to the titles, where we start to bump up the points a little bit. If you participate in a tag team title match on TV, Raw or SmackDown, you will at least get 1 point for your loss. You will get 2 points for your victory, either gaining or retaining the tag team titles. If you do that on a PLE, that is minor or major, you will get 2 points for your participation and 4 points for your victory. Mid-card breaks down to the exact same titles. We're talking points. We're talking about U.S. Championship and Intercontinental Championship. If for any reason in these next 2 months they were to add a female Intercontinental or U.S. title, some sort of form of mid-card title, those points will match in this category. You have a TV victory at 2 and loss at 1, and a PLE victory at 4 and a loss at 2. Finally, for your heavyweight titles, that is the World Heavyweight title, the WWE title, the WWE Women's title, and the World Women's title.
Okay, I'm about to say, because it's not Raw SmackDown Women's anymore. I know they changed the
right. It's
recently.
World and WWE.
Okay.
That is going to be 3 points for a victory on Raw or SmackDown and 1 point for participation. And you are going to get 5 points for a PLE victory and 2 points for your participation.
Because 3 ain't enough.
Now, we also have some extra bonus points that we could win throughout the season, because these are special things that kind of only happen once a year. If you win Money in the Bank, 10 points to your name right away. We are also going to give 2 points to every single Money in the Bank participant. Royal Rumble winners will also receive 10 points, as well as just here coming up in this next span of time, we are going to have 2 sets. We'll have the Money in the Bank 10-point winners, and then we will also have the King and Queen of the Ring, who will each receive 10 points. The draft rosters are going to break down like this. We are going to be able to draft 4 men. We are going to be able to draft 4 women, and we are going to be able to draft 2 tag teams. You can break those tag teams up however you like. If you want to draft 2 female wrestlers, if you want to draft 2 male wrestlers, if you want to draft 4 male wrestlers and 4 female wrestlers, but they have to be established, active tag teams.
Can't just be, let me put Bronson Reed and something Creed together and hope they have a match.
Right.
No, you gotta.
Or to just steal those people off of the board in some way or something like that. Or just to
steal them off the board like our other mock draft.
Right.
Where my tag team division had everyone like, who the fuck? Why would you use these people? I was just taking them off the board.
Okay, now, Omari.
And unlike our other draft, we're limiting this to WWE, clearly.
Yes. Just because it's going to be easier to manage the points and the titles are different. So it's just going to be easier to and also a little bit more competitive in a draft sense.
Yes.
Omari.
Sir.
We have to decide.
I'm going to say
who will draft Cody Rhodes.
Pretty much. I'm glad you saw the same thing I saw. There's no pretense there.
Do you want to do a live rock, paper, scissors?
Only thing I'm worried about is
delay.
Yeah.
What if we do a live blind rock paper scissors that then count, we open our eyes on the count of
Eyes.
10.
Okay. So we'll close our eyes, rock, paper, scissors, and then I guess on shoot we open them. And like
Sure.
while we're saying it, we put what do we want?
Uh you already have it held out and we'll just
Yeah, that's
trust
what I'm
each
saying.
other. Yeah,
That's what I'm saying. While we're rock, paper, scissors, we put out whatever, and then shoot, we open and see what we got.
exactly.
All right. I like that idea. All right. So closing my eyes.
My eyes are closed.
All right.
Rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper, scissors,
scissors,
shoot.
shoot. All right, scissors. All right, let's go
All right.
again. Eyes closed.
All right.
Rock,
Rock,
paper,
paper,
scissors,
scissors, shoot.
shoot.
You got the paper. You beat me.
All right.
That's fine. I thought as I close my eyes, he's gonna pick paper because I just picked scissors, but I'm still gonna pick rock.
That's big.
So you get Cody.
That's huge. That's
Yeah, I
huge.
really didn't want to go second, not just because I lose the Cody. I'm assuming Cody's your first pick. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know how I can't.
Yeah. So
The only
Cody's
thing
the
with Cody is he may not rack up the TV points because he's going to appear every freaking week. But
doesn't he
his
have
matches may
isn't
be
he
house
the
matches.
isn't he the fighting champion type dude though?
Yes, but I mean he's had one of those. He's
Gotcha.
had one. He gave Carmelo Hayes a match.
Gotcha. Yeah.
But I mean, you can say that.
Yeah, but WrestleMania was a month ago.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. And at the end of the day, the company is going to want to protect you.
yeah,
So there's only so much that you can force if you really want that.
true. But that's still a good investment. So, but because of the obviousness of that investment, like who I pick at second, now it gets to trying to guess people's trajectories,
Yeah.
which some people may be safe bets, but some may not.
Here's what I'm proposing right now in the moment. Because I don't think it's fair that a single rock paper scissors gives me the advantage for the rest of the tournament. So we will snake draft despite being just two of us. So you get to pick from here on out, we pick two in a row essentially.
Oh, okay. That's fine too. I wasn't like saying it was unfair. I was just like,
No,
okay.
but I was just thinking about
Okay.
it that I technically now have the
Yeah.
first pick in the rest of the draft. Every round
Oh,
I
like
have
everything
advantage.
is you get
Yeah.
the next best
I'm going to be
person.
one pick ahead of you forever now.
Gotcha.
Until after WrestleMania.
All
So
right. All right. So I think what I'm gonna do, I think because I now have the two picks, I'm gonna go ahead with one from each category. And I'm gonna go with I think WWE loves putting these people on TV a lot and will increasingly put them on TV for the next few months.
yes.
So I'm gonna go with Jade Cargill and I don't like the man himself, but his stuff is literally all over the televisions.
Wait, hold on a
Logan
second.
Paul.
So you're taking Jade as a
Oh,
singles competitor? You're
well,
not taking the tag?
she's in. Well, I guess. Wait, that's right. We said if we take the tag, then even if they're in the singles, they do that.
They'll earn singles points, yeah. So it's a pretty
Okay.
important
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah, the tag. Thank you for reminding me about the singles matches because I was just thinking King and Queen of the Ring is happening right now. Now, if they break up during the 2 months, we still get their single stuff. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, Jade and Bianca tag team. Do they have a name? Like as a team?
They do not. They do not
Okay.
yet. Um Ooh, that would, because that is such a powerful choice. I propose that if they break up, you lose it. They both become singles competitor free agents.
Okay, so that's why I was asking about.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, what if they
But you
break
you
up
you get singles points while they're on your
while they're a
roster,
team?
because they
Okay,
are on your roster. But
okay,
if they are no longer a tag team, they can't live in your tag team roster.
okay, that's fair. But I would still get their singles points.
No, they go to free agent, and
I just
you'd have
lose
to
them for
draft them
the.
at the reset.
Okay, I lose them till the reset. Okay,
Uh-huh. And you'd get a replacement. You'd be able to replace your open slot. Do you want to hold with the Jade pick?
I'm gonna hold with the
Now
Jade
that we've
pick.
established that, or the tag
Yeah,
pick rather.
because singles people, if they're in a tag match,
Hmm.
still get a point.
And it's likely that they're going to stick around as a tag for a bit. But
Yeah.
they could switch it
Actually,
up
yeah,
quickly.
I'm gonna go with Jade because she still gets a point for being in a tag match, right?
Yes.
And a tag title win, which still, yeah, I'll go with Jade specifically. Or Jack, you know what I mean. I'll go with Jade specifically.
Okay.
And then I don't like the man, but they like putting him on TV. His product is everywhere. And clearly there's a star power involved. And he's even fighting Cody. I'm going with Logan Paul.
Controversial,
I don't like picking
but
it this
good.
early,
Yeah.
but I need someone else that's gonna be on TV a bunch.
Likely to continue winning more than he loses
Exactly. So
based on the
I'm
way he's
like,
booked. Yes.
yeah, yeah, but I couldn't reasonably make him my first pick. But I also didn't want to wait and have you pick him up. Have you have Cody and Logan.
Okay. So with my double ups,
Uh,
uh
uh.
I am going to take the other half. I'm going to we're just going to split points there. And I'm going to choose Bianca for
That's
my
fair.
first women's single. And then I am going to draft the active face of Raw until some folks get back from injury. Jay Uso.
So the
I think
active
he's going to rack up a
face
lot of
of Raw.
TV victories,
Okay. No, no,
and
Jay
still
was
be
on my list as
participating
well.
in all the PLEs.
Jay was on my list as well. It's just me, Oos. They can't keep that off TV. So, but at first when you said the face of it, I was thinking because usually when people say the face of the company, I'm thinking champions. I'm like, oh, you're going for Priest. And then you said
You
Jay. I
know,
was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Well, not that Priest doesn't,
right?
but
Yeah, it's hard for a heel champion to be the face of the brand at the same time, like
yeah,
Roman
that's
did
why I was
it
like,
for a
yeah,
minute
the
there.
face of it. Yeah.
Hmm. All right, you got two.
All right. Yeah, that's right. You took off Bianca and Jay. So now,
Oh, right. And we talked about a 30-second clock.
oh yeah.
And Omari, you are on the clock for your first pick of two
All
now.
right. I'm pretty sure she's currently the champion, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick her. I'm gonna say Becky, the man Lynch. Speaking of being the face of a division because
Very,
folks
very
are on
interesting.
injury.
Very, very interesting.
Did she get injured
Um,
too? Did she just lose?
no, no.
Oh,
You know what, Omari? I
what's
didn't
up?
even put her on my board
Oh,
because I have the vibe that she's going to drop the belt very quickly and take a vacation.
really?
She was it was kind of strongly reported that she was already basically on like the first few days of that time off when Rhea got hurt. and she got the call back.
Uh,
I think she is the transitional champion for somebody else.
fair. Well,
But that's purely just vibes. Becky is one of the biggest faces in the women's division. They
hey,
could say we need her being the face of Raw.
end of the day, a 2 month transitional period. Maybe that's all I need out of her.
Maybe.
So I'll say Becky because I already said so. I might as well stick with it.
Back on the
Uh,
clock.
back on the clock. Let's go. Gunther.
Ooh. Ooh, good choice. We know that motherfucker does not lose, but once every 4 years.
Yeah, Gunther. Yeah, so those are my picks this round. Becky and Gunther.
Okay. Okay. Wow. All right. I'm gonna put myself on the clock now. Ooh. Um, I am going to go ahead and draft the current WWE Women's Champion, Bayley.
Okay, that was I almost did a double Becky Bailey, but I was
Becky
like,
Bayley.
Gunther's still there. All right.
And then I am going to draft. Oh, I'll put myself back on the clock.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see here. All right, so I got some seconds to decide to think about this. Hmm. 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 See, my fear with Bailey is she's not going to have a whole lot of TV time, but she is currently the world title holder, and I think she may at least hold that for one more PLE, and I'll get those points. That might be maybe one of the people that I'm looking to drop from that division. Oh, time up. I used all my time talking about Bailey, who I had just drafted. I am going to choose for my third member of my men's division, Braun Breaker.
I considered him too. Not gonna lie.
Uh, he's on Raw. They have 3 hours of wrestling
Oh, he's
to
on
to.
Raw now.
He is on Raw now. Um,
Holy shit!
looks like they're doing a semi Goldberg run with him. So far, he's had a half a dozen matches on SmackDown, and I don't think a single one of them has lasted more than 25 seconds. Um, so he is at least going to rack up TV wins, I hope.
Yeah, hopefully for you. Okay, this other nigga's on. I'm sorry, this other individual is on Raw as well. Okay. All right, so back to me. All right, so I have two women, I have two men
On the clock.
on the clock. I'm gonna go with someone who I'm just gonna bank on him starting to have a lot of matches because they like people watching him, and this motherfucker is crazy, and people like crazy motherfuckers. Ilya Dragunov. I think they're gonna be eager to show him off to a lot of people, especially after he spiked himself on a suplex and still got up and finished the match. That said, back on the
Absolutely.
clock.
Back on the clock.
Back on the clock. I'll keep it with the. Actually, I'll go to the women again, and I will select. I don't think they're done with her, but I also have not been watching enough SmackDown to know. I'm going EO.
Yep. Yep. I would say she is in that category of potential Queen of the Rings,
Gotcha.
depending on how they want to go with that.
Okay. Yeah. So those are my picks for this round. Ilya and EO.
All right. All right, they are both solid choices. I'm going to put myself back on the clock here, and I am going to go ahead and draft the active intercontinental champion who is risky because he's a guy who I feel like would be comfortable dropping it on a random TV episode to the right person. Um, and then I'm back on the clock now as my phone just reminded me. And I am going to go ahead and risk it and predict that just in this upcoming PLE, the victor of the women's world title will be Liv Morgan.
Ooh, okay. I had her as a pick, as a potential pick. So yeah, I can see that. I didn't even know about her fighting for the title.
So just to recap here, I have now completed my men's roster for this section of our season. And I have Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, Braun Breaker, and Sami Zayn.
Ooh, powerful, powerful, powerful. All right. So meanwhile, my men's division is Gunther, Logan Paul, Ilya Dragunov. So you know what? Even if he loses the damn thing, it's a title match. Damian Priest, he's the champion. So even if he loses the title in the next 2 months or so,
Mm-hmm.
he's in the matches. So that's still a point if it's like a PLE or whatever.
Right.
So I'm gonna do Priest to round out my men's division. There was another person I kind of wanted, but I haven't seen enough of him being back on TV to think they'll push him back into prominence.
Mm-hmm.
At least this fast. So
Back on the
yeah,
clock.
yeah. So back on the clock. I guess I have to wrap up my women's division now,
Or take your tag. Take a
or
tag.
take a tag
Neither
team.
of us have done a tag team yet.
We haven't. Um, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do a tag. Why not? I'll do a tag person, and I will do the Street Profits because I know they love using them on
You
matches.
motherfucker. You motherfucker.
They bring the swag like nobody can. Bring the swag like nobody
I
can.
thought about drafting them in my last set and I didn't. Yeah, I think Triple H likes them and clearly WWE likes Montez Ford for being married to Bianca Belair.
And also just being the
Oh,
charisma for the team.
yeah, no, and he's also incredibly talented, but then he is also married to one of their biggest faces of the company. So yeah, I think they get. I wouldn't be shocked if they're the SmackDown champions very soon. That's a great pick on your part.
Nope. Sorry.
All
That's
right,
me
that
being.
was your two set, right?
Yes, I did Priest and Profits.
Okay, so I am going to. Nope, that's my phone. Start. I'm on the clock. I am going to draft my final female, and it is Tiffy time. A Tiffy time.
You've been talking about Tiffy time so fucking heavily that makes sense. Because I'm not gonna say like you're obsessed with her, but
Mhm.
I only know about Tiffy time through our interactions on our various shows. But I forgot about her again. She wasn't even on my list, but that makes so much sense because, like you said, they've been pushing the hell out of her. But that's fair.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm not necessarily obsessed with her. It's just that
Yeah, that's what I'm
WWE is
saying.
currently obsessed with.
Yeah,
She's
that's what I'm
getting a
saying.
lot of TV time
Yeah,
for
like
someone who's been on the roster for 4 months. Um,
hmm.
so yeah, that's going to close out my women's division with Bianca, Bailey, Liv Morgan, and Tiffany Stratton. Um, and then for my first tag team, you motherfucker, you took my number one choice.
They were my number one choice.
Well, you took my number one choice. Uh,
Yeah, you took my number one men's draft choice.
um, oh, damn it. It's so risky. It's so risky, but I will. Oh my God. I'm going to write down the awesome truth, but they could lose on Monday.
I don't even know who they're fighting Monday.
They're not.
Oh, just
I don't
saying
think they're necessarily
they could
scheduled. They
lose
might
to
be.
anybody
Right.
at any time.
Yeah. Because it's
That's
our truth in the Miz. That's what they do.
they
They're
don't their characters don't need titles, despite the fact that they both have won at least some titles.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Cool.
Finish your bracket up.
All right. So you did the awesome truth. So now I need what? One more woman and one more tag team.
Correct.
All right. So,
Put you on the clock now.
well, could go with some women, and then we can also go with someone who will probably win more than she loses because she's not like most girls. I'm gonna go with Nia Jax.
Ooh. We were talking about her a little bit off camera. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
she's
about
been
Naomi,
she's been
but
a different wrestler in this return at the
yeah,
end since the end of the summer.
gotcha. But it's Nia Jax. It's kind of the
Mhm.
big show thing. It's
No, yeah,
are you?
different in a good way. Like,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no, different in a good way. She's being painted as somebody who like she I very 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 she's losing a lot, but she's very very rarely losing clean.
Yeah,
Like there's
yeah.
always shenanigans involved. There's a lot of DQ finishes in her matches, a lot of distraction appearances, run-ins. There's a lot of
Mhm.
shenanigans in her matches, and then she gets a lot of clean wins as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. She'll do a little of both. It's kind of like Big Show.
mhm.
It goes in phases. But at the end of the day, there's always going to be someone. You got to keep Nia strong. Let's have her squash people for 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think honestly, I'm that's a good draft because I feel like I have a prediction that this move to SmackDown for her is lining her up for a little bit more of a dominant run.
Mhm.
We'll see.
Yeah. So that said, I need a last tag team. Um, Fuck it. I'm gonna go with the current because it's a title match. The SmackDown Tag Team Champions
A
or
Town
whatever the
Down
other one is.
Under.
Yeah, A Town Down Under. Because those, and I say this, it's totally about their characters, not the people themselves. But those two douchebags deserve each other,
Yep.
and I think they'll be a good tag team for a
Yep.
minute.
All right. Well, your tags are exclusively in the SmackDown roster currently. I can
Really?
either
The
go
Profits are on Street SmackDown?
correct.
Oh, I thought they were on Raw.
Um, no, in the Triple H era, they keep their couples
Ah,
on the same rosters, typically.
gotcha.
Um, even if they're not on camera couples. Um, so I have one draft pick left. I can either choose like I like the idea of one of picking the champions and like the number one contenders essentially because it's like kind of like a you're
Hmm.
good for one or the other. Um, do I want to do basically who would be the number one contenders? there. Or I, you know what? I think I am. Oh, yeah. Darn. I don't know. I don't know. I think I am going to draft in SmackDown.
Ooh.
If it's not Street Profits, it is going to be DIY.
So DIY SmackDown too?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
New
guessing drafted.
they swapped with New Catch Republic.
Okay. Yeah, I
Pete
was
Dunne
just like,
and
other dude.
Baby Strong Boy. What's
Gotcha.
his name?
I I don't know.
Oh,
Uh,
Tyler
uh,
Bates.
Tyler Bates. Okay, I recognize the name. Yeah. Uh okay, I thought about DIY,
Mm-hmm.
but I was just like, it's kind of weird not to pick a champions. And I already have in my head, I already have a Raw tag team in the Street Profits. So I'll have one on each show. If the Street Profits take it off of Truth, whatever, in A Town Down Under, they're gonna hold that for me.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's interesting.
Yeah. This is gonna get interesting. We're
But
gonna keep track
DIY
of
was
these
who I
points.
decided I decided not to do because I already have a Raw team.
So I would say let me just run through my draft board here. Possibly some some uh some bigger omissions. Someone who only has racked up victories since they've returned, Randy Orton,
Brandy
not
was on my
drafted by
list.
anybody. I thought about doing that. LA Knight, someone who they've been giving a lot of victories, Ricochet recently. Um,
Oh,
New
did
call
Ricochet
up.
beat Ilya?
No, Elia beat Ricochet, but
But he did win the Speed
it
Championship.
was a banger. He won the speed championship, which we won't be currently counting.
Yeah.
Um, but um, he was. I mean, he has beaten every member of Judgment Day, and I think including Damian Priest right before Damian Priest became world heavyweight champion.
Oh, damn.
He went through a month of Raws where every week he was just running
Gotcha.
through the Judgment Day individually.
Fair
Um,
enough. Because he had a promo I saw like WWE put recently where he's like, some shit's got to change. I keep losing all the time.
well, at the big ones, that was because it
Gotcha.
was the king of the it was his king of the ring match
Yeah,
against
he really
Elia.
wants his King Ricochet gimmick back because he was King Ricochet before WWE.
Um, LA Knight was undrafted.
Yep.
Um,
Consideration, but not
NXT
drafted.
NXT call up that looks like they're gonna book her strong Lyra Valkyria.
Fair.
Drafted to Raw. She was on my board as a possible consideration. Um, I think someone who's been eating a lot of pins and who Triple H seems to run this with a few people of like, all right, like help me out for 7 months and then
We'll pay it back. Yeah, do the favors, and then we'll
and I
return it.
think two guys on the top of that list right now are Finn Balor and Shinsuke Nakamura.
Yeah.
Both very good wrestlers, very popular with the wrestling fans when they are good guys,
Hmm.
but also very good heels. And they've been losing a lot. So I feel like they're due to get a momentum turn.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree. I thought about Finn, but he's been Pin Balor too long, and I can't. I'm like,
yeah,
I need points from
it's
him.
the same with Shinsuke. Like the turn could happen any minute, and you feel like they are like both of them have another run in them in the company, I would guess,
Well,
where
yeah,
they're
Finn.
going to be victorious, but
Yeah, and
it's
Finn can
just not
always.
happening right
He
now,
can
so it's
all
hard to
Finn.
draft them.
Finn has me want title match privileges because he's a former champion, and for people at home, that's what I just kind of call it. Where anybody who's won a title before can just come out at random with no reason storyline wise and say, God damn it, I won a title match. And suddenly they're in the title picture.
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler made a career off of just
Jinder
coming
Mahal.
back doing it. Jinder Mahal most recently. People are like, what is Jinder? How is Jinder fighting this dude?
Hey, don't hinder Jinder.
Exactly. That's a former champion, son.
All right, Omari. So you happy? You happy with your roster?
I am. I'm not as like you said, there are some names that are considerations that weren't that I ended up not picking. Randy, primarily because yeah, he's probably winning a lot, but he's also in his I'm chilling old man face. You know what I mean? So title picture, not really what Randy's doing right now. So
Yeah.
that's why I didn't pick him. I thought about LA Knight, but while he's white hot, they aren't really putting him up there because
Mm-hmm.
reasons. So there were some people I wanted to pick Braun Strowman because I'm a big Braun Strowman guy, but
He's
he
just getting
just got
back.
back.
You don't really fully
That's what I
know
was
how
saying.
involved they're going to have him.
That's why I was like, I'm not sure if they're pushing him to prominence just yet. That's who I was referring to. I'm
Yeah.
like, I did hear he was in a bad mood last week and beat up some random people like he do. But
There's likely to be a lot of different shakeups in these next over these next 2 months where we're going to be gathering points that's going to make our next meetup interesting. I mean, the Wyatt Six could show up. We're not even really sure who
they
those
are.
people are yet. We'll have our King of the Rings. We'll have our Money in the Banks. It's going. Several people will be back from injuries. Your Drew McIntyres, your CM Punks, potentially your Charlotte Flairs. All kinds of folks are currently off the roster and could be back very, very soon. So we'll see how our and if we haven't explained it yet, our shakeup is going to be so any vacant hole in your roster you can just fill with a choice of a free agent currently undrafted. For instance, like we discussed, neither of us did, but if Awesome Truth were to break up at our next meetup, I would be able to fill in that slot. And then additionally, you could then drop one member of each category if you desire and add from
And
the free
replace.
agent pool.
Yeah, like drop and replace. That way, if someone, let's say, gets injured
Mm-hmm.
and you're not getting any points from them and you know they're gone for the next year, that it's like, well, you're screwed. Ha ha.
Yeah.
No, you
Or
can
if you're
drop them at the
or if you're really
update
happy,
points.
you can
Yeah,
you can just stand pat if you want to.
yeah.
And we'll figure out the order of how we end up doing that, who gets advantage, if it's the current leader or the current loser, or if
Oh
we
yeah,
do
like who
another
gets
rock, paper,
dibs on
scissors.
yeah.
Like
Okay.
who gets first drop ad
From the free agency pool
choice.
because of waiver wire shit.
Waiver wire ads, yeah. All right, so we'll come together back on that later, but I think this is a great start. A lot of
I
fun.
do too. I enjoy it. I like our picks. I feel like every pick it wasn't really that person. The closest one was the Becky because of the vacation possibility, but
And that's just a
whatever.
gut feeling from me. Like the obvious choice would be Becky's a big star. They want her running Raw right now while their other big star, Rhea, is
Is
on the
injured.
shelf.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just a gut feeling in me that she was about ready to take a extended vacation with her husband who is injured. Another person we didn't bring up who could come back
Yeah,
after our 2 month hiatus. But yes, there was just a gut feeling
yeah.
that
Drew and Punk as well. People,
she was giving
yes.
Raw to Rhea officially, and she was going to take an extended vacation and come back at SummerSlam or later. Um,
But here we are.
we'll see. That's why this is interesting. Because
Well,
we basically have directly competing things. I kind of think it's either Street Profits or DIY.
that take that title.
One of them is going to be getting more points than the other, kind of thing. Because you can only
Mm.
push so many things. We each have the active champions on Raw and SmackDown, but then our other two picks, it's kind of directly competing with each other. Um, I think our Becky versus Liv Morgan pick. It's kind of a one or the
Yeah,
other.
that's one or the other. The Jade and Bianca.
Jade and Bianca might end up being completely identical virtually, or they
opposed
break
in.
up in these 2 month span, and
Yeah.
and those picks really mean something. I mean, Jey Uso and Damian Priest for the face of Raw. We have a lot of competing picks.
I like
Braun
it.
Breaker and Gunther are both on Raw. Are they going to collide at some point during these 2 months?
Yeah, Braun Breaker was one of those that I'm kind of sad I didn't get because I saw him. I'm like, oh yeah, Braun Breaker. If I want some quick wins and points, but it was one of those things of, do I draft him first overall in the draft? No, draft him not first. There's got to be better choices. Just me in my head, like, come on now. But yeah, no, Braun, great pick. Like I said, I don't have a problem with era picks. Ilya might be kind of itchy for me for the people at home. Like, really, this guy? Look, the
And no, and I
motherfucker.
would point out no
He's one of the few
bloodline
people on the
members,
rock. Yeah.
no bloodline members drafted. But you have Roman sitting at home.
Oh my God. I came into this today when you mentioned the idea of like, yeah, Solo Sokoa, and then I didn't write him down on my draft
Here's
list.
my thought process on Solo Sikoa. I think he is going to have a Roman mentality where, in his character point of view, at least, where we are going to, although not completely off camera, like we are going to see him every week, but he ain't going to do normal matches. He's gonna
Yeah.
his official matches are going to be at PLEs, and he is just going to have promos and brawls
And
and
yeah,
those kind of
he's gonna make
segments.
the bloodline minions fight
Yeah.
for him.
I
So
don't
you're
I, I don't know if I see him
Tamatongas.
making TV points.
Okay.
So
That makes
that's why he
sense.
wasn't initially on my board. I
Yeah.
almost drafted Tamatanga, however. Tamatanga, I think, would be the workhorse of the new bloodline, doing the TV time, doing the TV matches, while also appearing in the PLE matches. I almost drafted Tamatanga. All right. You want to go ahead and take us home?
All right. Yeah, so there you have it. The first episode of Mock to Draft, the third show on our channel. That's right. We got two other ones with the two of us putting in that work. You can catch it on the stream. We got 2 years worth of This Guy Hasn't Seen backed episodes. So like movie club, we trade videos back and forth, movies and stuff, talk about them. One guy's seen it, one guy hasn't. General premise of that show. We also have a show every week, every Saturday called You Don't Watch Sports. Two casual sports fans talking about sports, three topics, help you sprinkle some information into your sports conversation as where your guiding light through to see that as sports talk. And then obviously I also have the aforementioned sister channel show, Whatever We Want podcast. Do it with a good friend of mine, good friend of the show, Super Jazz.
Super Jazz.
Thank you very much, as nature intended. Bit of a hiatus, but it will be coming back, in the coming months. And that's usually on Wednesdays. But still, 2 years worth, almost 3 years worth of back footage on that show. So yeah, we out here, we doing stuff. Hey, I also have a Twitter and Twitch, Giotavi, Giotavi. Come on in, stop on by. You got anything you want to say to the folks, Bill?
No, sir. Thanks for having us on the first episode.
Yes.
Stay tuned for a lot more.
All right. Yes, indeed. Well, thank you guys very much for watching. We'll see you next time with Mock to Draft. Adios.